right. Okay, we are going to reconvene our open session. Good evening, everyone. And I'd like to ask, well, who is, oh yeah, Trustee Prendergast to report out actions taken in closed session.
Nothing to report out of closed session this evening.
Thank you very much. Now we'll have the invocation led by Trustee Prendergast, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Trustee Whitt.
So tonight, I'd just like to take a moment to reflect on some of the freedoms that we have in this nation that were expressed over the last few weeks in regard to freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of press, and the potential impact that those freedoms may have in our coming elections in June and in November, and the people's voices and how important they can be. And hopefully the outcomes of those elections will be in the best interest of this nation, regardless of what side of the issues you are on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have two requests for public comments, and I will call both of you up. So the first person will go to the lectern, and second one is on deck, and you have 2 minutes, no more, please. And the first up is Taylor Samuelson, followed by Chris Jones.
Hello, thank you so much for allowing me to come. Did my clock start? Is it good to go?
You're good to go.
Cool. Nice to meet you all. My name is Taylor Samuelson. I am the chairman of the Saddleback Young Americans Foundation here. And I'm here to share with the board documentation that we collected from our public records request in regards to faculty viewpoint discrimination against students. We collected this information. I provided it to the clerk for you all to see afterwards. And it's really telling that I heard you speak earlier in regards to student rights and the First Amendment. And this campus actually has policy that infringes on the First Amendment. So I'm here to share with you some of those issues. Young Americans Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We're based out of Washington, D.C. I'm letting you all know today that there's several sections of Administrative Regulation 8000 that openly discriminate against student rights and allow for administrators to conduct viewpoint discrimination. Section 1, subsection FB of Admin Regulation 8000 allows the school to impose additional fees on student events that require additional security based on content or viewpoints expressed at said event. Subsection A2 of Section 2 creates free speech zones on campus, which prevents students from expressing those vital views that were just discussed earlier in this meeting in the opening comments. I'd like you all to understand that a lot of students feel that while we do need to express our views, we still don't have those same rights as other students. You may have not heard of the Foundation for Individual Rights on Education. They list schools on a rating from green light, yellow light to red light. Hopefully Saddleback doesn't end up as a red lighted school. Red lighted schools tend to discriminate against student rights. So I just want you all to read over our request to amend the policy. Our request supports all student rights. Every student has a voice. Every student has a right to say what they want. I don't think this board should be against that. I think you should support it regardless of political view. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And next up, Chris.
Hello, my name is Chris Jones. I'm a former Saddleback College student, class of 1988, and I'm now currently a part-time professor. I decided as a student here that this was a really good environment to work in, so I went to Cal State Fullerton and got my BA and MA in geography, and I came back and taught here pretty soon after that, and I've been here for 25 years. I've been teaching at South Orange County for 25 years, and then also other colleges all over the place. I've taught up to, because of the main issue I'm talking about tonight is faculty rehiring and guarantees for some of us. So many semesters at the beginning of my career, I taught 10 to 12 classes. A normal full-time load is 5 classes. And I did it because I thought I might lose 3 or 4 classes, possibly, depending on budget cuts or low student enrollment and things like that. So I would teach well over what was a normal load and drive 500 miles a week just to make sure that I had enough to pay my mortgage and pay my bills. And so, and then one other thing I'd like to say is that when we faculty, part-time faculty, talk to each other about the different colleges around, we kind of rate you a little bit too. And one of the main issues is reliability. If the college is going to have you one semester, not another semester, and then also if the classes, they have a solid program, so that classes are not canceled right and left. And there's a few colleges I no longer wish to work at because they were not so reliable. So I just wanted, and even if you do hire us for classes, we have no guarantee that they're actually going to take place. We'll write our syllabus and everything, and then the enrollment's too low and we lose money. And that's our income we're talking about. So I just wanted to bring that up and let you know, as a former student and as a dedicated part-time faculty for 25 years at this district, that we need a reliable next semester hire. So please work on that for the next contract. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, now we'll turn to our board reports, and I'd like to, let's see, I forgot where I kicked off last time. All right, Trustee Whitt.
Good evening, everyone. Well, I attended a few events. It was great. I attended the groundbreaking for our stadium. Having been here so long and to be present, my hair stood up. It was really nice that it's really happening. Came on campus today and saw the green fence all around, so I know that it's starting. But before the hoopla of the whole event, I just wanted to share the words that were expressed, especially by our board president and by Dr. Anderson and Mark. I was really touched by what was said, meaning that, yeah, we have waited for this for a long time, but let us not focus why we are doing this, and that has to do with the students. Students being, the stadium will be a classroom. I never thought of it like that. The baseball field is a classroom. And I think that's important that we're focused like that. And I also think we need to be focused with our community. I think this is going to be outrageous for our community to have a stadium of this size. I also was touched by Tony Williams, who was the student that spoke, and he really touched my heart for what Saddleback has done for him. Then I attended the Fine Arts First Movement Luncheon, and it was wonderful. I wasn't planning to go, but something told me I don't participate a lot with the fine arts, being that I'm a science person. And I just have to tell you, it was one of the nicest afternoons that I've spent. It really was. And I did spend. But at any rate, I just encourage all of you to support the fine arts. The students they're remarkable. What they performed for us privately, it was absolutely brilliant. And I'm sorry I didn't get to attend the IVC Gala. I had a really important family commitment that night without a state family, but I heard it was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Whitt. Trustee Wright.
Thank you. I was fortunate to attend a few events. On Wednesday, March the 7th, I was on TV, did a TV interview at 8:15 a.m. in the morning for Channel 6 Laguna Woods Community Center with Ken Goldenberg. It's a good event that we do every month to talk about what happens at Saddleback College and Irvine Valley College and what happens in the district. So I really enjoyed doing that. I also attended the Irvine Valley College Annual Foundation Awards Dinner. It was a very good event. I thank all the people there who made it such a enjoyable evening. My wife and I both attended. I also attended the Saddleback College Stadium groundbreaking on March the 12th. Again, the stadium will be well used, I think, once it's finished, and it'll be a goodie. it's good that we've done this. I wanted to mention that I'm looking forward to the ribbon cutting ceremony and the dedication of the School of Integrated Design, Engineering, and Automation at ATEP. That's going to be on Wednesday, April the 18th. I'm looking forward to that. This will be, I think, a wonderful event also. Before I close, I just wanted to applaud the interim chancellor, Dr. Tom Fallon, for what he's doing. President Glenn Rockmore at Irvine College president, and Gregory Anderson, the president of Saddleback College. Their reports this week, their written reports, are very good. All three of them, I think, are superb. So I just wanted to thank them for those reports. And we also had a report done by the Associated Student Government at IVC by their ASG president. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Wright. Trustee Prendergast.
So a lot has been said about the groundbreaking of the stadium. I won't go further on that. Points were well made already. I did attend the Orange County School Board Association dinner meeting on February 28th. The keynote speaker was a psychologist speaking about mental wellness, especially in our students. It was geared more for K through 12, but it definitely applies to community college students as well. Kind of the whole student approach and not just focusing on academic grades, but academic goals as well as life goals, as well as skill acquirement and so forth. So it was very informative. I think one takeaway I got was the study on sleep and the idea that you know, depending on what your age, your gender, your needs, whatever your body needs, for every hour of sleep that you lose for that need is equivalent to 0.08 blood alcohol content. So I think I'm operating at 0.16 right now. But other than that, everything's great.
Thank you. All right, my report. The Saddleback College Athletic Stadium groundbreaking was awesome. I really appreciated the opportunity to speak. Had an excellent turnout of our community, including elected officials and folks that have been involved with Saddleback College for many years. 8,000 seat stadium, football fields, track, modern press box. It's going to be awesome. I mean, I think the expectations are high, as they should be, and I think it's going to really benefit not just this district, this college, but our nonprofit organizations and all sorts of groups that I think can benefit from having this modern stadium. Really look forward to the construction moving ahead and completing. The IVC Gala was terrific. Alyssa and her team did a commendable job. The weather didn't cooperate very much that night, but I think the bottom line was a lot of funds were raised, primarily for scholarships for students, and that's what the purpose of the event was. That was the main purpose of the event. A couple other things. The federal omnibus spending bill was signed into law last week. There's a lot of provisions in there that affect education and workforce, and there may be some opportunities for our district to take advantage of that going forward. And then lastly, I think everyone knows there's a housing crisis in this state, and our students aren't immune to it. It's a really tough issue. We possibly could have rent control on the ballot in November. That'll be a really divisive issue. And the truth of the matter is we don't have student housing in our district, and most community college districts don't have student housing. And it's a really big challenge when you have a market and tight inventory like we have. And it's just something that I think this district should start to look at more seriously going forward. Thank you very much. Trustee Jay.
On Saturday, March 10th, I attended the IVC Gala called Celebrating Excellence, the Foundation Awards Dinner. It was at the Turnip Rose in Costa Mesa. It was wonderful, and many thanks to Alyssa Oransky, the Executive Director, Karen Orlando, and Karen Jimenez for their very, very hard work. They work so hard. Over $80,000 was raised for the IVC Foundation. Thanks also to the Foundation President, Betty Jo Willett, and her executive committee. There were many honorees of excellence. which were honored at that time. The people honored were Anessa Sessa Hurd Johnson, Nancy Montgomery, Brian Kim, Rosa Rodriguez, Phil Norton, Bob Urell, the City of Irvine, and Sean Joyce. It was a great evening, and everybody who attended had a wonderful, wonderful time. On Monday, March 12th, was the date of the Saddleback College News Stadium groundbreaking ceremony. It was so exciting to think we're going to have a new stadium. The welcome speech was given by our President Anderson, and then Tim Jamnell also gave a talk. Then we heard from the football coach who spoke, and a student athlete, Tony Williams, who spoke and was honored. The groundbreaking was done with gold shovels, and then there was a reception. It was so exciting about this new stadium. It'll be fantastic for our community and Saddleback College. On November 20th at noon, I attended the Fine Arts First Movement Luncheon. The luncheon was to support the fine arts and music program at Saddleback College. The luncheon was catered, and it was a wonderful catering company, and was located on the stage at Saddleback College in the McKinney Theater. There were 2 student speakers, and we were entertained by the Saddleback musicians. Approximately 13,000 to 18,000 was raised. It was a fun, exciting event. Thank you, Mark Schwartz and Dave Anderson, for all your hard work.
Thank you, Trustee Jay. Trustee Lang.
No report this evening.
Thank you very much. Chancellor's report. And our student trustee is not here. I'm not avoiding him. Chancellor's report.
Pleased to hear earlier this month that a momentous announcement from the University of California, Madam Napolitano indicated, subject to the agreement of the Academic Senate of the University of California, community college graduates will be guaranteed admittance to the UC system. Great move. We've been fighting for this for a long time. I hope our students take that opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor Fowle. College presidents' reports.
Thank you, Board President Jamal. This month has seen faculty, staff, and student and administrative leaders of the college and district connect more deeply with local leaders and community members. Student access and student success are sure to increase when all these partnerships are strong. I'd like to thank Board President Jamal and all the trustees who were able to join us for the groundbreaking of the stadium and sports complex. I deeply appreciate your support. I also want to express my appreciation to the team, including the foundation board members who contributed to the event. Also, thanks to the trustees for your approval of Dr. Jim Boyce to act as Vice President of Administrative Services through the end of the calendar year. Jim has already taken a key role in facilities, safety, resource allocation, IT, and budget. Those are all bedrock services for the college. I also wish to call out 2 student success stories we worked toward to in every class with every student. First, we've had an exciting interdisciplinary collaboration of the Departments of Biology, Advanced Manufacturing, Art, and Economic Development to complete a public art project commissioned by the City of Mission Viejo. This work will showcase 2 prehistoric dolphins whose skulls were found here. Faculty leaders contributed their expertise to engage students in problem solving and creative development solution. Technology, science, and the arts combined to design an authentic replica of the dolphins. Finally, a collaboration of faculty with horticulture and landscape design students resulted in a $10,000 grant award to explore the possibility of using dew and fog to irrigate farms and landscapes by installing and studying a dew and fog catchment system at a Laguna Beach Park. It's right at the edge of the, right on Highway 1, right at the edge of that major resort. Very public area. The student team was one of 7 teams from universities and colleges throughout California, and the only community college receiving the $10,000 award, even though they had another 25 colleges compete. We have students and faculty here this evening, including Cher Burlick, the student, Robert Farnsworth, the professor, Tony Tang, the dean, all of whom contributed to this project that we're very proud of. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Irvine Valley College.
Thanks, Gregory. Thank you very much. Well, I will mention the stadium just for a moment, and in this regard, I want to thank President Anderson for asking me to don a hard hat and a shovel and join in the celebration. I appreciated that very much. It was my pleasure to do that. Also with the FAD, I have to add my congratulations to Alyssa Oransky and her team. They indeed worked their hearts out and were absolutely exhausted, but very rewarding outcome for them. Today is the first day that classes are offered at the IDEA building. And over spring break, the move came over. The labs are still being set up, but the equipment is in place. And the classes that are running right now are mainly just the chalk type classes that don't require equipment. So it's nice to see the parking lot probably a third full today. That was great. And then finally on Sunday, I had the pleasure of starting a running race. For the 5th year in a row, we've had the Pediatric Cancer Research Foundation hold their annual run walk on our campus. This year they had 3,800 runners. And so how this is all important, of course, the cause is very important, but walking through the crowd, hearing them talk about the campus, talking about friends, people in their family that are going to be attending Irvine Valley College. So it's a great outreach event as well. So thank you.
Thank you. And I see, unfortunately, our 2 students are not here to present their ASG reports. If they come later, we'll allow them to do so. Do we have any board requests for reports? We do not. And I see we have no discussion items. So that'll move us forward to our consent calendar 5.0. Do we have any pulls? Trustee Whitt.
I would just like to make a comment on 5.3 when we get to it, and
Well, why don't you pull it?
Okay, I'll pull it.
Okay.
And then I just would like to make a comment on 5.10, so I'll pull it.
Okay.
And that's about it.
Do we have any other pulls? All right. Is there a motion to move the balance of the items? I have a motion from Trustee Jay, a second from Trustee Lang. Any further discussion? Okay, let's go ahead and vote. Balance of the items are approved by unanimous trustee yes vote and 1 trustee absent. Trustee Whitt, let's go to 5.10.
5.3.
Oh, sorry, excuse me.
5.3, yes.
5.3.
I just wanted to, I just really wanted to say a sincere thank you for the departments who continue to look at what our community needs and what industry needs. And these 2 certification, brand new programs that they put together, I read them. I just wanted to say thank you to the departments, because we're not just a transfer college, and that's important, but we also need to meet the needs of the community and industry in there, and those are meeting those needs. And I appreciated that. That's all.
Thank you very much. Any further?
Not on that one.
Okay. So I think we got a motion from Trustee Lang and a second from Trustee Wright to approve 5.3. Let's go ahead and vote. .3 is approved by unanimous trustee yes vote and a trustee absent. I don't need to note that. All right. Let's move on to 5.10. Trustee Whitt.
Okay. Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor Gable, for returning really a well-written response to me on this. But I would like for the district to start looking in-house. Can we do this in-house? It's a lot of money for 9 months. And from my experience, and I don't know everything about ADA, but I believe that we could do it ourselves. And if maybe I'm walking the wrong plank, but I really believe we can start saving costs. If we can start doing some of these things that we outsource, that we can do them in-house. So can you just look into it? I appreciated your answer. Thank you very much. But let's put that in the front burner, not in the back burner. Okay.
Did you want to respond? You don't have to. It's up to you.
Yeah, sure.
All right. I wanted to, did you want to say something, Vice Chancellor Viscachill?
we will be employing, April 2nd, a position that is the manager of ADA and leave administration. Certainly, that individual could be trained on physical accessibility. Right now, that position is intended to carry out employment accommodations for our wide workforce, a diverse workforce that has a number of functional limitations that individuals may have, and this position is going to help serve as creating functional accommodations for those employees that are currently employed with the district. That's different from the physical accessibility of the district. My understanding is that this particular requirement is based on a settlement with the Office for Civil Rights on a case that happened over a year ago with a physical accessibility issue. And so a thorough assessment of our physical accessibility is something that we're required to do. It is very much an expertise that currently no one in the district has. We can look to train the new position to do some of the physical accessibility. I just want to make sure that we're legally compliant with how expansive that field can be.
I respect that, Vice Chancellor, and I'm just thinking that I still think we can do it in-house. We're a smart team.
And if I could just add on what this particular contract is doing, it's more than the physical accessibility aspect of it. It's going to be looking at how we communicate with students, all of our programs, how we work with the students, all the information that we provide the students. And so I think this is going to give us the opportunity to kick off our program and get us on the right foot in compliance with the current standards. And then the expectation is that moving forward, we will be doing this in-house.
Well, I just want to add, that's comforting to hear. I appreciate the exchange we had this morning on this issue. I mean, I think everyone here supports full compliance with the ADA. I mean, there's no one who doesn't. In this district, it's top priority. I think for me, one of the things, and maybe going forward, we will transition to a more effective way of complying. But I mean, it struck me the way the contract was written. It was significant dollar amount and also hourly rates. Usually, I would like to see in these kind of maybe more of a without kind of a lump sum without the hourly rates. It just seemed unusual to have such a large contract and also have the hourly rates in there. I mean, they're going to have to put in. I mean, that's a lot of hours to put in to look at policies and procedures, and I guess someone's going to have to track that and make sure they put on those hours, because I think it's a huge number to be able to get up to the $290,000 contract. So someone is going to have to stay on top of that.
And we definitely will. I think within the contract, there are very specific deliverables, and the vendor will be paid once they have produced that deliverable, and that will be monitored very closely.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I don't see any other comments, so let's go ahead and vote on 5.10. The item carries five yes votes, 1 abstention, and 1 trustee absent. Motion, item carries. All right, so we're moving on now to our general action item, 6.1, the CCCT Board of Directors election. Are any recommendations for our board members, from our board members, to nominate 5 candidates to the Chancellor's board? Trustee Wright.
I looked at all the backgrounds, and I'm recommending, if you want me to, the numbers 1, 3, 5, 6, and 7.
So 1,
3,
5,
6, and 7.
okay. I'll second. Okay. We have a motion from Trustee Wright.
Motion.
And a second from Trustee Prendergast. And all question or comment from Trustee Lang.
Just in the way of support, I had
basically just picked 4 out of the candidates, and they were all ones that Trustee Wright had indicated. So
All right.
good choices.
Very good. Okay, seeing no other requests to speak, we have a motion, a second on the table. Let's go ahead and vote. It is confirmed, a unanimous trustee yes vote, and 1 trustee absent. 6.2, the Orange County School Board Association Maureen DiMarco Award nomination. Do we have any recommendations for one of our board members to make a nomination? No? TJ, you're on the board? No? Okay. Okay, so Grace, we have no motion. Move on to 6.3. We are adjourning our regular meeting of the Board of Trustees and approve adjournment of the April 23rd to the adjournment of the April 23rd regular board meeting to move it to April 30th in accordance with the California Code. Do we have a motion to do this? We do. Motion from Trustee Lang, a second from Trustee Jay. Any comments? Questions? Let's go ahead and vote. The meeting is moved. It's a unanimous trustee yes vote. All right, 6.4. We have some board policy revisions to be accepted for review and study. Is there a motion to approve? Motion from Trustee Wright, second from Trustee Whitt. Any requests to speak? I have a comment. I'd like to take a look at the nepotism item. I think it's fairly strong, but I would like to see us consider some additional considerations in there, and I have some comments on it, and maybe that can be moved forward for consideration. I don't know if I need to do that now.
Well, if I may.
It's for review and study. I
Right.
understand that.
In the past, because it's review or study, typically where we've had suggestions, we've provided those to the chancellor.
And I have done that already. So I provided my suggestions to the chancellor and to his team to look at. And do you have a comment on it?
I was just going to say, we'll incorporate your recommended changes and then bring that back to the board at the next meeting on April 30th for review and action by the board. So that'll, in essence, be your second reading.
Okay.
So
Yes.
there is a legal circumstance where if a change to a board policy affects working conditions of individuals that are represented by bargaining units, that the expectation is that be collectively bargained with those before the board approves it. So if any of those changes might impact our bargaining units, we would have to take those to them.
Okay, I don't think that they will, but you can take a look at it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Prendergast.
Yeah, in regards to BP 5640, the service animals and the animals on campus, just wanting to make sure there's clarification here on, I know that the language says that there's definition of service animals, including only dogs and miniature horses, but I know that there's an issue right now in a lot of businesses and a lot of areas, the difference between service animal versus comfort animal versus therapy animal. And the laws are changing now on, can you ask for certification or documentation or things like that. Just want to make sure that I know we have the BP and the AR and all that, and just making sure that we're addressing those differences for making sure that we're in compliance and all of that. And maybe you can speak to that.
Yes, that is correct. The current policy as proposed is legally compliant. An emotional support animal, comfort animal, therapy animal, they are not allowed on our campuses. It's only a service animal, which means we have the right and responsibility to ask what service that animal performs. Meaning how, the easiest example would be an individual that has a seizure disorder. Oftentimes they will have an aid dog that will notify them in a certain way that they're about to have a seizure. So that's a service that service animal provides. So those are discussions that happen in human resources. with a union representative if one is wanted between the employee and the district human resources in a private setting. That's an interactive accommodations meeting.
And what about for students? Especially like if we have a student that has some sort of DSPS service to say they get their therapy animal?
So again, students are the same, that they would need to perform a service to be on our campus, and the service animals have to stay just as an employee would. The service animals are required to be well maintained in terms of under control of that individual, and that they are looked after in terms of if they have to, go to the restroom or go to the bathroom. As long as the students are adhering to that and the animal's not creating a disturbance on campus, it's handled through DSPS. If for some reason that service animal, which I've had in my history, become an issue of some kind, biting someone, being disruptive in an educational environment, then that is a discussion between DSPS and student services with the individual that has the service animal. Typically speaking, the service animals are very highly trained, and if there's an anomaly that the service animal is not working well, it's usually because the student's not abiding by how the service animal was trained, because those are a lot of invested monies go into these service animals, and they're very good at what they do if the environment is structured for them.
All right, thank you very much. Any further questions on 6.4? Seeing none, let's go ahead and vote. The item is approved by unanimous trustee yes vote. 6.5, we have additional board policies up for discussion and approval. Do we have a motion to approve this item? Motion from trustee Lang, second from trustee Whitt. Any questions? Trustee Prendergast.
Yeah, I know at the last meeting we had questions about some changes, and I just want to make sure that those were done the way they were discussed. I didn't notice them, and so it'd be easy if I missed them. They were
on which BP? Do you remember?
So yeah, there were a couple minor changes that were requested by trustee Lang to board policy 3002, and those were all incorporated into what you see here tonight.
Okay, perfect.
Very good. Anything else? Okay, let's go ahead and vote. The item carries by a unanimous trustee yes vote. 6.6, Retiree OPEB Trust Actuarial Report and Recommended Funding. We have a motion from trustee Jay to approve and a second from trustee Wright. Any discussions? Trustee Prendergast.
Yeah, again, operating on low sleep here. Walk me through where the 4.9. I'm looking at this, and I teach history, not math, but everything I see adds up to 3.9 or 2.7, or I'm not finding the 4.9, and I just need help on that.
So the 4.9 is found on page 5 of the report. So it's Exhibit A, page 7 of 27. And it's down towards the bottom. So you see number 3 there where it says actuarially determined contribution, or ADC, $4,894,109. That's where the 4.9 is coming from.
What page again?
It's Exhibit A, page 7 of 27. Or it's page 5 of the report. So if you're looking in the bottom right-hand corner, it's page 5. If you're looking in the top right-hand corner, it's page 7 of 27.
I mean, I saw that, but again, I'm not, like they're showing in earlier tables the loss or the gap. So I'm not 100% clear as to where they're coming up with that number. It's great to put it on there in writing, but where does it come from?
It's a calculation that they do, and it's a calculation of what it would cost. They call it the normal cost for the current employees that we have, how much we should be contributing on an annual basis to make sure that we stay fully funded for our retiree benefits.
So it's a calculation.
It's a calculation that the actuary does,
They're
yes.
taking into account those other numbers.
They take
and
into
then
account
estimating or
your
calculating. Got it.
mortality rates, your gender, all kinds of other things that they're taking into account to come up with this calculation.
That helps. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Lang.
Yeah, so I found this to be actually a very interesting report. Being a numbers guy, of course I would. But what this shows is that we've actually got an asset of $6 million effectively. But what we're saying is I think that number can really fluctuate up and down, and we want to stick with trying to fund normal costs, which is what the recommendation is, which I support. But the other thing that they do, I think that's interesting, and I think a standard part of these reports is they do some testing of the assumptions to show, all right, well, what happens if you change the assumptions a little bit for better or for worse, and what does that do to impact the numbers? And pretty substantial swings one way or the other based upon, how you the assumptions that you make behind the numbers. So it's kind of one of those figures don't lie, but liars figure type of thing. In any event, it is an interesting report, I think. It shows that we are very well funded. This is really unique to our district. Most districts do not have the good fortune of being able to fund something like this. I would hope that the faculty would appreciate the fact, well, not just the faculty, obviously, but all employee groups would really appreciate the fact that we've done this, because it is a substantial benefit and I think assurance to all our employees that, hey, look, we've got this tremendous fund that is going to pay for these benefits looking out into the future, something that other districts really don't have. So,
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, let's go ahead and vote. Six point six is approved via a unanimous trustee yes vote. 6.7, budget calendar for fiscal year 2018-2019. There is a motion to approve by Trustee Wright, second from Trustee Lang. Any questions on the calendar? Okay, let's go ahead and vote. The calendar is approved by a 6-0 trustee yes vote. 6.8, academic employees and classified administrators, personnel actions. Any
There's one
changes to
item.
the item?
No changes, but I want to draw to your attention, as we are responsible to do legally, to point out the one contract that exists in 6.8. The contract is for Nancy Montgomery. She currently serves as Director of Health Services at Irvine Valley. Her position is being expanded to include veteran services. This is a new contract for Nancy Montgomery. Her annual salary would be set at range 20, step 8, $184,296 annually.
Okay. Thank you for that. Trustee Lang.
yes, and nobody is more deserving, I think, than Ms. Montgomery. So that was a wise decision, I think. I would like to divide the question on this item and separate out those items in number B, or in letter B, that have to do with the Canvas conversion stipends, and vote on those separately, please.
All right. So they are, but he's asked that the items designated for Canvas. So we're gonna go ahead and vote on the balance of the. We have to vote on whether to accept to divide the item. There's a motion from Trustee Wright to divide, to accept that division, and a second from Trustee Lang. And we have a motion from Trustee Wright, second from Trustee Lang. You don't want to speak again on it?
No.
Okay, because you're still listed as a speaker. All right.
You can.
All right, let's go ahead and vote on whether to divide the item. We have a 5 yes, trustee yes votes, 1 no vote. The division carries. All right, so now we are going to vote on the items that are not related to Canvas. Okay. You want to vote on Canvas first? I decided to vote the other way first, but whatever is easier.
We need a motion and a second on.
Well, we already divided it, so
Okay, so Terri and Bobby.
we're voting on everything except for the Canvas-related items. Okay, and we have a motion from trustee Whitt and a second from trustee Jay. Any questions on those items? Seeing none, let's go ahead and vote. The motion carries by 6-0 trustee yes vote. All right, now I'll give you time to set this up. There is a motion on the items in 6.8 related to Canvas compensation or Canvas stipends. Is there a motion to approve these items? There's a motion from trustee Prendergast. Do we have a second? Second from trustee Whitt. And I suspect, did you want to say something? No. Oh, okay. I was wrong. All right. Let's go ahead and, trustee Prendergast, we do have a request to speak.
We went through this concept of assuring that there was accountability and trusting that these numbers are based on submission of proof and all that. And in that sense, I'm obviously on the motion for it, but I just want to make sure that we're working the right way here.
You are correct. Individuals who want to apply for the stipend have a process that they have to fill out an application, and it gets approved by the vice president of instruction at each of the colleges before it gets submitted for payment.
Now, so is the aspect that most of these are from Saddleback because the IVCs haven't put theirs in yet, or I'm just kind
I
of
have
it's
no
an overwhelming
understanding
number
as
from
to
the one.
why Saddleback has more submissions. I don't know why.
So in this item, I think the amount of stipends we're approving is 182,000.
That's correct.
Okay.
I can address that slightly, trustee Prendergast. From the Saddleback perspective, our deans and faculty were primed to work on this as soon as the board approved it and the forms got approval through the faculty association. So our faculty and the deans worked very quickly to get some of this done because the work had already been completed.
So the assumption is more are coming.
There will certainly be more from Saddleback College.
Well, there's certainly the reserves have noted that there's more coming. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I think everything that has been discussed on Canvas has been said publicly, and I think we've discussed that at length at previous board meetings. So let's go ahead and vote on the item. Someone hasn't voted. Not sure who. The motion carries 5 yes votes, 1 no vote, and 6.8 is approved. All right. We're now at 6.9, classified personnel actions, regular items. Any changes to the item? All right. Is there a motion? Motion from trustee Jay. Second from trustee Lang. Any questions? Okay, let's go ahead and vote. 6.9 carries with the unanimous trustee yes vote. 6.10, South Orange County Community College District recess to public hearing. CSEA Chapter 586 initial proposal to the district. The district will conduct a public hearing, provide an opportunity for the public to comment on the California School Employees Association initial proposal to the district for the purpose of negotiations pursuant to Government Code Section 3547C. I don't. No. I can try to recall.
My understanding is you open it up for a public hearing to see if anyone wants to
Right,
comment.
but usually I turn it over to the Chancellor to say, describe the item a little bit. But in the absence of that, I will open it up for public hearing or any comments on the initial proposal. Okay? Public hearing is now closed. Any additional comments from the Board of Trustees? Okay. All right, so we have a motion. I don't know if this is
No motion.
there's no motion on this item. Yeah, this is just public hearing. The public hearing is now closed. We're now at 6.11, the district's initial proposal to CSCA Chapter 586. We're going to conduct a public hearing, the opportunity to comment on the district's initial proposal. Hearing is now open. Are there any requests to comment on the district's proposal from the public? Seeing none, is there any trustees wishing to make any comments? Okay, public hearing is now closed. 6.12, we are going to recess into a public hearing on the Police Officers Association initial proposal to the district. We are conducting a public hearing, giving the opportunity for the public to comment on the POA's initial proposal. The public hearing is now open. Are there any requests to speak on the item from the public? Seeing none, Board of Trustees. Okay, the hearing is now closed. We are now moving on to our board reports. Saddleback, College and IVC speakers. Staff response to public comments from the previous board meeting. 7.3, Facilities Plan Status Report. 7.4, Monthly Financial Status Report. And the only comment I would make is my understanding is that the reserve balance is down by close to $4 million in anticipation of the stipends to be paid for canvas conversion. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, thank you very much. 7.5, Retiree OPEB Trust Fund. Okay. Now I'll turn it over to move to 8.0, reports from administration and governance groups, and I'll kick it off with Saddleback College Academic Senate.
There we go. Blake Stevens. Nice to see all of you again. I'm here for Dan Walsh. I'd just like to commend the district for going forward with the ADA study. We have an aging campus here at Saddleback. A lot of difficulties for students getting around, so I commend that. I think that's a noble study that's going to be done. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Faculty Association.
Faculty Association has nothing to report this evening.
Thank you very much. IVC Academic Senate.
No report.
Thank you so much for that. There's a lot of brevity this evening. I like it. Vice Chancellor of Technology and Learning Services.
No report this evening.
Okay, thank you very much. Vice Chancellor of Human Resources.
I don't like to be an outlier typically, but I do want to introduce and welcome the new Executive Director of Human Resources and Employee Relations, Kim Whitt. Kim comes to us from Grossmont, Cuyamaca, and I welcome both her experience and her knowledge. She'll be a valuable asset to district human resources for a number of years to come. So welcome, Kim.
Thank you very much. Vice Chancellor of Business Services.
Okay, just briefly, I too attended the Saddleback Stadium groundbreaking. Thank you, President Anderson, for including me in that. And I have just recently met last week with the City of Tustin, the city manager, Jeff Parker, and his team to get to know them so that we can have our working relationship on ATEP. So it was very nice to formally meet them and get to know them. And budget season has begun.
All right. Thank you very much. IVC Classified Senate.
Okay, I'm going to apologize ahead of time because we actually have
kind of long report, but let's see. On March 8th, our president and vice presidents provided funding to allow classified from each of their areas to participate in the Women of Influence Forum that was hosted by the Irvine Chamber. And on March 10th, we had 10 classified employees who attended the Foundation Awards dinner. Each year, Dr. Rockmore co-sponsors the table, so they're able to afford to buy the tickets, so we appreciate that. Our scholarship committee members are currently reading student applications to select the recipients for this year's Classified Senate funded awards. And on March 7th through the 9th, 5 classified members from IVC were given an opportunity to attend the Chief Student Services Officers Annual Conference in Sacramento. They participated in breakout sessions on topics like AB 705, Title IX, and Pathways. Our Vice President, Linda Fontanella, is the organization's president, and she encouraged vice presidents from across the state to invite classified and faculty from their own institutions, so it made for a very highly collaborative and successful event. And last but not least, this morning, Karen Jimenez, who used to be Karen Martin, in her role as the South VP for 4CS, announced that Dr. Rockmore has been selected as the recipient of the 2018 Outstanding Leadership Award. Each year, the California Community College's Classified Senate recognizes an outstanding individual who has shown significant support for classified participation in governance at the state level. So, congratulations to Dr. Rockmore, and that's my report.
Congratulations, and that wasn't so bad. Okay. Did a good job. CSEA President.
I don't have a report, but I'd like to welcome Kim Whitt to Human Resources. And between Dr. Vizcachel and Kim Whitt, I think that if both of them represented the United States in negotiations with North Korea and Russia, both of them will climb down.
There's negotiations with Russia taking place? All right. And to take us home for the evening, IVC Classified Senate, yeah. Saddleback Classified Senate, sorry. My apologies.
Thank you very much. I just have one thing to report. On a rainy March 22nd last week, 169 classified staff from District, IVC, and Saddleback participated in a full day of team building exercises at the 2018 Classified Staff Development Day. This event was held at the Orange County Great Park in Irvine in the historic hangar 244. Used to be an airplane hangar. It's quite an event. At the event, there was a fundraising opportunity there, and we raised $1,500 to support, a nonprofit organization called Support the Enlisted Project, acronym is STEP, who provides financial support for enlisted military families and recently discharged veterans in need. The keynote speaker at the event was a previous employee, Audra Diapova, and she spoke on health and wellness. And one more thing, I really want to thank you for recognizing the need for student housing for our students. We've been talking about this quite a bit over the past couple of years, and both colleges see the need, and we're really glad that you're receptive and open to the idea.
Well, if you have ideas, please send them to us, because I haven't seen any real solutions that are meaningful so far.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That adjourns our meeting. Thank you for coming. Enjoy your evening.